So this first coin here is a 1931S. Now this Lincoln penny, this wheat penny, however you prefer to say it, this 1 cent coin, you can see that it's definitely been circulated. It's got some wear on it. It is not in the best condition. It's graded at an about uncirculated 55. But in 1931, for the S mint mark, they only produced 866,000 of these coins. So that's why they have value. No matter what their condition is, they're always going to sell. It just depends on their condition for what they sell for. Now this coin sold for $200, but if we look at a 1931S, that is an extremely high graded coin, and it's graded at a mint state 66 red, that changes everything for the value of the coin. We go from a $200 coin to over a $4,000 coin because of that grade. So keep in mind, the grading is always a factor, but we're looking at coins that are pretty much always going to sell for something no matter their condition, just because they didn't make a lot of them. So let's move on to the next one here. This is a 1931D. Now we're looking at low mintage pennies. We're going to declare low mintage in this video, under 5 million produced just for this video. So the 1931D, they produced 4.4 million of these pennies. Now this is graded at about uncirculated 50. So they made a lot more of these than the S mint mark, of course. So they're not going to be as high in value. This coin only sold for around $50. But if we move on to a 1931D, that is the high graded version, this coin sold for over $6,000. And it really all determines on how many of, 1931Ds out there are actually graded at a mint state 66 or higher. That is going to also determine the coin's value. Because if there's not a lot of these coins that exist at this grade, then of course there's going to be a higher demand for those coins, which is going to raise it up in value. So let's move on to the 1926S. Now this one's very cool. They made around 4.5 million of these coins. Now you can see that this coin is in pretty decent shape. It's graded at about uncirculated 58. Now this coin sold for a little over $100. But again, if we go to the 1926S with that high grade, the mint state 64 red grade, this penny sold for over $46,000. That's right, 46,000. So even a higher mintage, but there's probably not a lot of these 1926S that are graded at an MS64 or higher. So that is a very expensive coin there. If we move on to the 1924D, they only produced around 2.5 million of these coins. Now you can see that this coin has definitely got wear on it. It's definitely been circulated. Now this coin is graded at a very fine 25. A very fine 25. So not the highest grade at all. Pretty low grade there. Now this coin sold for a little over $45, even in that condition. So if you got one that is in better condition than this and it's graded at a higher grade, then of course you could get more money out of it. This 1924D here sold for over $19,000. Next up is a 1915S. Now this one here is graded at about uncirculated 58, so definitely not the lowest grade, but definitely not the highest grade. The coin grading scale goes up to 70. If you're not familiar with it, just type in Couch Collectibles coin grading on YouTube. I have a few videos about coin grading, so be sure to go check those out. Now this coin here sold for over $400, and you got to keep in mind, a 1915S, they did produce over 4.8 million of these coins. But if we move on to a high graded version of the 1915S, this coin here sold for over $46,000. And of course it's in the Joshua and Allie Walsh collection. Moving on to a 1914S, where they produced a little over 4.1 million of these coins. Now this coin graded at a very fine 35. You can definitely see it's not a mint state coin. This 1914S sold for around $70. But if we look at the 1914S that is in mint state 66 red, now this coin here sold for over $80,000. That's right, over 80,000 US dollars. Now for the 1914D, now they produced only 1.1 million of these coins, almost 1.2 million of these coins. You can see here that this coin is graded at about uncirculated 58. So even in this condition, this penny sold for over $4,000. Now if we look at a 1914D, that is a mint state grade, this coin sold for over $80,000, an $80,000 penny. Can you believe that? That is insane. Alright, now if we look at another 1914D, this is a really good example of showing you the difference between values. Now this coin, you can see that it's not graded and it's sold on eBay as is, the way that it looks right there on screen. Now this coin sold for over $1,900, $1,900 on eBay, just like that, as is. So if you ever come across a 1914D, you can definitely make some money off of it. Next up is a 1912S San Francisco minted wheat penny. Now they produced a little over 4.4 million of these coins. Now this coin here is graded at a very fine 35. So this penny has not got a high grade at all. This 1 cent coin sold for a little over $50. But if we look at the 1912S that has a mint state grade, very, very high grade, this coin sold for over $27,000. So huge difference in prices there. Next up is the 1911 San Francisco minted wheat penny. Alright, so for the 1911S, now they produced a little over 4 million of these coins. You can see that this coin is not in the best condition, but hey, it's a 1911S. It's over 100 years old, so give it a break. Now this coin only sold for a little over $40, but if we look at a 1911S, again with the mint state grade, this coin sold for over $27,000. So a huge difference. Man, if you guys come across any really high graded versions of these wheat pennies, definitely want to get them graded because you could definitely make a huge profit off of them. Now for the famous 1909 penny, which I've done a whole video on the 1909 penny, so definitely go check that out. I explained everything about all the mint marks and everything in that video. But first, let's look at this penny here. This penny sold on eBay. You can see that it's like corroded, it's damaged, it's all kinds of different stuff. It's just not in good condition at all. But it's a very sought after coin for one reason, because it's a low mintage coin. This is a 1909S VDB, where they only produced 484,000 of these coins. So how many of these actually exist nowadays? Who knows? But it is an extremely valuable coin, no matter the condition of the coin. Now this coin here, even the condition that it's in, sold for over $300. But if we look at some other 1909S VDBs, now this one here sold for over $14,000. So we go from a $300 penny to a $14,000 penny. Now again, that VDB is going to be here on the reverse, so always be on the lookout for that. There are a lot of fake 1909S VDBs out there because they did produce a 1909 VDB without the S mint mark. So a lot of people have put fake S mint marks on there to try to sell them and make money, unfortunately. But let's move on to the 1909S without the VDB. So for the 1909S, they produced a little over 1.8 million of those coins. Now if we look at this coin that sold on eBay as is, not graded by a coin grading company or anything like that, this wheat penny sold for over $425. Still in pretty good condition. I mean, if you find a 1909S like this, definitely can make some money off of it. Now for the 1909S high graded version of this coin, this is a very expensive coin here. This coin sold for over $69,000. $69,000. So always be on the lookout for those low mintage pennies. They are definitely valuable. If you guys want to see low mintage quarters, dimes, nickels, whatever you guys want to see next, let me know right now in the comments below. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe in the middle. Check out the videos to the left of me. And until tomorrow, I will see you all in the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.